Hello chess gameologists! Welcome to the last episode of Wednesday Chess Tactics. I've decided to move on to other ideas. I will probably be doing a coverage of Magnus Carlsen versus Ian Nepomniachtchi match coming up end of November. Okay, for this last video I'm going to do a puzzle streak on the Lichess platform. So here we go. You can try and solve the problems at the same time, and I will try and explain my thought process as I go along. Okay, puzzle number one, it's black to move. Okay, we can see that this pawn on f2 is not protected, so perhaps we could either take with the knight or the queen. If we take with the queen, we will also be attacking the rook, so that seems to be a good move. Queen check, and we can pick up the rook. Okay, next one. Okay, next one. This time it's also black to move. Okay. The material is unbalanced. We've got a queen on one side, knight and rook on the other. If rook takes, we're attacking both the king and the queen. The queen takes back, the knight takes, and king takes. That doesn't seem to be a good option because we've got 3 pawns here versus 1. And I've just noticed that knight here is a fork on both the king and the queen. So I'm going to go for knight f1. Okay, and that wins the queen. Okay, next one. In this one, it's white to move. Okay, puzzle number 3, white to move. In terms of material, black has an extra pawn. Well, black has a knight and white has a bishop. Okay, what can we do in this position? So it's always interesting to have a look at checks. So what would happen if we went rook to f1 check? Where can the king go? Oh, sorry, what am I doing? Checking the white, my own king, that wouldn't work. Okay, so I'm just thinking, what if we have a double attack on the knight? No, that would not work, so the pawn would simply take back. Okay. Oh, if rook takes knight, then the rook is undefended. So we need to check this. Check. Pawn takes, king takes, so we would be an extra piece, and we just need to check that we are in time so that black doesn't make a queen. So let's say that again. Rook takes knight, pawn takes, king takes, the pawn moves, and king here. King there. That's weird. It's oh, maybe we can just play bishop here. Okay. There we go. So this is called eliminating the defender. And now white can simply take the rook. And we're a piece up. Okay, next one. Puzzle number 4. Okay, so this is very tempting. Rook takes h7, attacking the king. The king has to move to g8, and we can take the other rook. Okay, and rook takes rook. So far so good. Next one. Puzzle number 5. If queen attacks the pawn, the king is in check. The king has to move, and they'll be mate on another one on the next go. Check and checkmate. Okay, next one, puzzle number 6. Okay, black to move. Okay. So in terms of material, Black has 2 rooks and a bishop, and white has 2 knights and 2 rooks, so black is down material. Black needs to find a way to win back material. Oh, I think it's a bit like the other one. If rook takes the knight, check, then the king can grab the rook on d6. Okay, check. And now the king can simply take the rook. Okay, next one. Puzzle number 6. Okay. Let's have a look at the material. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pieces for black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pieces for white. What prevents the pawn from taking the knight? That seems to be quite okay. Pawn takes. And we're up a piece. Okay. Next one. White to move. Got the feeling that if rook here check, then white has to play the queen or the bishop, and then white can simply play d6, and the piece here will be pinned and lost. Okay, check, and d6. The bishop is pinned, it can't move, so on the next go we can take the bishop. Okay, next one. In this one it's white to move, so it would be very tempting to play check here. The king would have to move to a8, and then perhaps we can play rook here, threatening to take on a6, and that would be checkmate. However, I think black could take on c6, so that wouldn't work. Let's do that again. Rook to b7 check, the king has to move. Oh, maybe rook takes and then rook here. Okay, let's have a look. Check. That was the right move, and now if I play rook here, then black can simply take, so that wouldn't be good. So I think that the right move might be rook takes here. Yep, okay, next one. So sometimes it's not a very big advantage, it's just a pawn, but in the endgame that can make quite a difference. Okay, puzzle number 10. Okay, so could take with the queen here. The king would have to go to h8. Perhaps queen takes, and the queen will have to come here, and knight here, and that's checkmate, I believe. Okay, check, check, and checkmate. It's almost a kind of smothered mate. Okay, find the best move for black, puzzle number 11. Okay, what can black do? What if queen takes or pawn takes? Seems to be like a good move. I don't think. Yep, I'm going to go for queen takes knight. Okay, and pawn takes queen. Okay. So that was a kind of mate threat, but it didn't work. It was met with h6 and queen takes queen. Okay, find the best move for white. Well, rook here, that would be threatening mate. Would that work? Rook here, the pawn moves. Nope, that doesn't seem to work. Oh, wait a minute. If we sacrifice the queen, the king has to come here and rook here, and that's checkmate. The pawn controls the g6 square, and the bishop controls the g. Oh, that's a nice one. A sweet, astonishing queen sacrifice, queen takes, and that's checkmate. Okay, next one. Seems to freeze a little bit. My computer seems to be a bit slow from time to time. Okay, find the best move for black. So this pawn here is quite threatening. What if we play check? The king moves here, we can play queen check. Then move the king in. Okay, I'm going to go for d3 check. Okay, we need to make sure there's not a perpetual here. If we move the pawn, check, king moves here, check, king moves back, so that would be a perpetual. Oh, but if I move the pawn, the king is in check, so let's do this. Check. Okay, the puzzle ends here. So I suppose we can then replace the queen to prevent checks and then make another queen. Okay, next one. Puzzle number 14. It's white to move. Oh, I have a feeling this might be a hooked mate or something. Check. If the king comes here, then we play rook here. That would be checkmate. And if the king comes here, that would also be checkmate. Check. And checkmate. Okay, this is a hooked mate. The knight protecting the rook. Okay, puzzle number 15. Black to move. It's always interesting to have to check the moves which check the opponent. So maybe rook here, check. King here. And if we play queen here, we should be able to win the bishop. Okay, check, check, and win the bishop. Okay, next one. So far so good. Puzzle number 16, white to move. Oh, I think it's knight here. The pawn is pinned and we're attacking both the king and the queen. Check, and let's win the queen. Okay, next one. Some patterns, when you know them, you will find them quite quickly, and others it'll be a bit slower. That's why it's important to practice puzzles a lot. The more you practice the puzzles, the faster you will get, and you will recognize more patterns. The pawn here is pinned, so I think I can play queen takes check, and that's checkmate. Okay, next one. Find the best move for black. I believe queen takes, pawn takes, and that's checkmate. Check, and checkmate. Okay, next one. Puzzle number 19. Find the best move for white. Okay, in terms of material, it seems to be equal. Okay, there's a lot going on here. These pieces are attacking each other. The queens are attacking each other. But I believe this knight here is hanging. So if we go queen takes queen. Oh, I forgot about the intermediate check. So I'm going to take back. I was a bit quick on that one. I hadn't noticed the intermediate check, but it's okay because when pawn takes knight, we can then take the bishop. So pawn takes knight, and we're up a piece. I was a bit lucky on that one. I was a bit quick. Okay, next one. Again, my computer is a bit slow. Okay, so this is an end game. It's white to move. I'm tempted to play b6. The reason is if c7 takes on b6, then this one is going to be able to make a queen. And if black doesn't take, I will simply take on c7. Okay, so I'm going to play b6 here. Yep, and I'm going to send this pawn. The king can't go and prevent the pawn from queening. Okay, puzzle number 21. Again, it's an endgame. White to move. Okay, black seems to have lots of extra pawns here. What if we play king here and we threatening mate on the next one, and I don't think black can do anything about it. Okay, king here, and yep, that's checkmate. The king can't go anywhere. Okay, so far so good. Again, my computer's a bit slow. Find the best move for black. Okay, complex position. Black has only got one pawn, whereas white has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I believe this is a mating pattern, otherwise black would be losing. So maybe knight here, check. The king has to move. Rook here, check. Rook here, then the rook takes the rook. And I believe that's checkmate. Okay, check. Check. And it's almost like a hooked mate again. And that's checkmate. Okay, next one. Find the best move for black. Again, black is down material, so it's probably a mating pattern. G5, I'd like to play that spontaneously. Check. The king has to move to h5, and rook takes on h3, that's checkmate. Check. Checkmate. Okay. So we're now going to move on to puzzle number 23. So far so good. Okay, puzzle number 20, or 24 actually. Find the best move for white. I don't know, the queen seems misplaced here. What if we play knight to c3? The queen has to move, and I think we can simply win the knight here. Okay, knight to c3, the queen has to move, and we can simply take the knight. We couldn't take the knight before that because as the knight was on b1, this rook was not protected. We go back. You can't just go pawn takes b4 because the queen would take the rook on a1. Okay, next one, puzzle 25. Find the best move for black. Okay. If we go rook here, no, well, the pawn would simply take the rook. That wouldn't be any good. Okay, what about, no, rook takes. I have a feeling there's some kind of mating pattern, perhaps. Oh, maybe queen here, attacking both the king and the rook. I'm going to go for that. Check, and take the rook. Okay, next one. So puzzle number, is that 25 now? I lost count slightly. Okay, find the best move for black. This could be maybe a kind of Sicilian position. Okay, you can see that both kings are under a lot of pressure. In terms of materials, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So black has the bishops, white has the knights. So what can black do? If the queen takes here, I suppose the rook takes and nothing happens. queen takes here, king takes, rook here, check. The king has to go here. Pawn to b2 check. The king moves back. Nope, that doesn't seem to be enough. Okay. Oh, did I miss something? Queen takes. King takes. Rook here, check. The king has to go. Oh, I missed. Rook to a2. So that's the right move. Another sweet queen sacrifice. Queen takes. Check. And that's checkmate. Okay, next one. Again, my computer's a bit slow. Find the best move for black. Okay, the queen is attacked by the knight. However, this pawn is pinned, so I believe that we can simply take the knight. Okay, we have to be careful here. I think we can simply retreat here. Okay, next one, number 28. Okay, it's black to move. Black to move in this position. I'd like to play d5. Therefore the bishop moves, and then we can take on f3. And if bishop check, I can simply move the king to h8. Let's go for this. d5. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Okay, well here's the end of the streak. I scored 27. Let me know in the comments what scores you get on the Lichess puzzle streak. So the right move was rook takes bishop, and after queen takes rook and bishop here, and this is a skewer. If you want to see more weekly and monthly videos, you can subscribe to the Chess Gameology channel by clicking on the subscribe button. And you can also check out some of my other videos. Have a nice day. See you next time. Goodbye.